understand why my parents named me that. Mary. Just a family name. But why Mary? Why not Vania, God's gracious gift? Or Toby, God is good? Or even Sarah, princess? Why Mary? Why bitter? But not only did my name mean bitter, as if that's not hard enough to answer to, it was also one of the most common names. Mary, did you finish your mending? 5 dozen yeses or nos would echo down our alley. I had learned to accept being common and answering to bitter, without becoming it. It was expected of a woman to accept her lot. And how can I be discontent when daily I knew the goodness of my God? One of my greatest amazements was his goodness in betrothing me to Joseph. I didn't need to be reminded, though my mother often would, of all the men my father could have chosen for me. Instead, he chose Joseph, and Joseph wanted me. Such a kind and generous heart. I knew I would learn to love him very soon, if my admiration of him wasn't mixed with love already. Then it happened. One minute, I was daydreaming of Joseph, the children we'd have, a clean home with Joseph's shop round back, the children's bright eyes the first time they see the temple, helping my children learn the Holy Scriptures, our Torah, when suddenly, the most incredible light shone from a being in the middle of my room. I hid my face. Was it God? Would I die? Then he said it. Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Me, a common nobody found favor with El Elyon, God Most High, would have his son, would have the Messiah that every female born of Jacob dreamed of having, but it would be me. I'd only kiddingly wished for it. I would laugh with pleasure at the thought of being uncommon enough to bear the Messiah, God's tool to deliver Israel. Deliver Israel. That's the part I never understood. No Jew ever did. We expected a military hero, a king. The deliverance we experienced was unexpected. It was the reason why Gabriel didn't change my name when he announced my son, Jesus, God's son, would be born. He called me Mary. I pondered many things while raising Jesus. Or was it me learning from him? That's the humor of it all. He taught in our temple when he was only 12, but he was God. Why shouldn't he? Then he did it. He delivered us. He allowed those who hated him to just kill him. He'd walk out of a crowd full of people trying to stone him. Then, for just a handful of rulers, he submits to condemnation. It was then I knew why I was called bitter. I had never faced bitterness like I did there, at the feet of my son as he hung dying. Not even when Joseph almost divorced me, or the community shunned me as an adulteress, or when we fled to Egypt to save Jesus' life, or when Joseph died, or when Jesus left home. But here, I saw the hope of Israel dying a needless death. I had learned by then not to ask or interfere, but to wait on the Lord. So I watched as his heart broke and his lifeblood literally mixed with water and poured from his side. I died. I suffered the bitterest my life could have known. The hope of Israel went out with the sun. It must have been his father's anger that shook the earth, I thought then. What can a mere woman do, Adonai? You know, I would have died in his place. Even as I thought it, I knew it wouldn't have been the same. But what good had it done for him to die? I couldn't know. When the earthquake happened, many of Jesus' followers thought it was the end. We'd be swallowed up by the earth like Korah was in the desert. Some were even foolish enough to wail that God's prophecies were ruined. Surely all Israel would die for it. Others ignored nature's chaos and believed their trust in Jesus was misplaced. We didn't know then that the temple curtain had been torn from top to bottom. The entrance to the forbidden Holy of Holies was exposed. All priests ran out covering their eyes, lest they perish. 3 days of grieving, a sorrowful Sabbath. Then, Mary Magdalene, Mary Cleopas' wife, and Salome found Jesus' tomb was empty. Mary Magdalene had claimed Jesus had come to her, alive! As the weeks went by, we and 500 others saw Jesus, touched, ate, and talked with him. My son is alive! God's son is alive! He is no more mine to guide and mother, but I'm his now. He is and always has been greater than I. I can know his Father because of his blood, sacrificed, perfect and acceptable as the complete atonement for my sin. Elohim, God has accepted him as my sacrifice. My punishment was paid by my son. I am no longer bitter. I am still common among men, yet loved by the Lord. Have you met him? Come, let me introduce you to Jesus.